So here's a quick how-to with our 3D Fiber Lash Plus mascara. It can be a little intimidating. Everybody sees these two tubes and thinks that it is really hard or they're going to do it wrong. So I thought I'd show you how to do it, and it's really simple. So I just opened a new pack of mascara. It comes in two tubes. One is the gel, and there's a little window here. And when you start to use it, you can see, you can really see the brush. It's a window so you can see how much is in there. Same thing with the fibers. Now the fibers, what I'm going to tell you, when you first open your mascara, they're going to come out and they're going to be really kind of clumpy. So there's a whole bunch of them on there. What I am going to suggest to you is put it right back in here and give it a little scrub. We want the spoolie to kind of show a little bit. You don't want it so full of fibers that they're falling all over the place. And that will happen if you don't get them off. It's totally normal, and we're putting fibers on our wet lashes. So a little fiber falling off is to be expected, but with practice, you'll figure out how to get less and less and then eventually none. So see how you can kind of see the little spoolie now? I kind of brushed some of them off. That's what I want to use because it's going to wrap around the lashes rather than just fluff over them. So the way I suggest doing it is get your brush nice and wet, and of course, you know, general rule of thumb with mascara, you don't want to pump your mascara, you kind of want to twirl it around because we're just going to be pushing a lot of air in there and it'll just gum up the product a little bit. So you can see our nice big fat brush, and when they redesigned it for the 3D Fiber Lash Pluses, they made this one specifically to really get in the lashes and have the fibers hold on to it. So there's a science behind it. So I'm just going to do a little leaning into my mirror here and doing it. What I'm going to tell you, the steps are wet, dry, wet. You never put the fibers on first. The fibers need something to stick to. So you get your lashes nice and wet from root to tip, and then you take your fibers. I always put my wands back in their respective tubes, and then you sweep on the wet lashes until you get a fair amount of the fibers on there. Put the fiber wand back in your tube, move on to your next eye. You're going to put just the gel, root to tip, root to tip. When it's nice and wet and coated, take your fibers back out and go kind of mid-lash to tip. You don't want to go all the way to the base of your lashes because then they're going to fall. And if you have sensitive eyes with getting things in them, you're going to be more likely to get some in there. So don't try and get way down by the root. Just kind of go mid-lash out, and that's going to give you a good reach. So I'm going to do it in my mirror here, and then I'll get back and tell you. So starting with this. Okay, so you can see I have some gel on this one right now. It's still wet, so I'm going to take my fibers, try and do it in the camera here, and just sweep them on. And they're going to stick to the wet gel. And it's okay if they're kind of fluffy on your eyelashes. We're going to smooth them back out with a sealer layer of gel. So you can see they're already looking much bigger, okay? So I'm going to move over to the other eye, gel the other eye, fiber the other eye, and then I'm going to seal them in with the last coat, so hang tight. Okay, now both eyes have the first set of gel, they have the fibers, and now because I went from this eye to this eye, the first eye I did has had a little bit of time to set up. So your fibers have kind of stuck to that first layer of gel. So that's why I do them like this. And then I just go in and I seal them up. And what that does is it's going to kind of create another layer holding the fibers onto your lashes. What you'll find one day, you're going to be driving into work and you're going to look in the rearview mirror and you're going to see little sprinkles all over your cheekbones, and that is totally normal. That means you, one, either totally forgot to put the last set of gel on to hold them on your lashes, or two, you didn't put enough gel on, or, I mean, if your mascara is getting a little old, it's not great gel anymore, so it's time to pitch it and get a new set. So after you have the fibers on both eyes, you're going to seal it in with one more coat of gel. And this is much harder in the camera than I anticipated. But what this will do, it kind of smooths out all those fibers, sealing them in. Oh, I just got my eyebrow. Okay. And one last over here. Yeah, how many silly faces can you make putting mascara on? We just want to seal that right in, and voila. Now, if you wanted to do make these lashes like crazy long, while that's still wet, here I'll show you on one eye. While that's still wet, I'm going to take my fibers back out. Oh, so many fibers, brand new. Come on. And you put a whole nother set on. And really, I've done this before just for fun to see what happens. And I've made them like super long. And all you do, you just keep layering if that's what you want to do. I usually just walk out of the house with one set on. You don't need more than that. But if you want them especially long, if you have super short lashes or really, really blonde ones, mine are pretty blonde, but they're not that bad. And look at my poor eyelids. I got them all. When you do this in the mirror and not into your phone, it turns out much better. You don't get it all over your eyelids, but the length is crazy, the volume is crazy. You don't even really need, I feel like if I just walked out of the house with my eyelashes like this, that's plenty good. So this is my normal everyday look. When I go to work, anywhere I go, I'm not big on putting on a whole bunch of stuff. I just want to get out of the door and go because I've got 4 kids and they're taking up a lot of my mornings. So this is kind of my everyday. Occasionally I'll throw on a second set just like I did over here. You can see that they're a little bit more length and a little bit fuller. More full? I don't know. But this is the one coat, and you saw me beforehand, and it is pretty dramatic. So if you have any questions ever, if you're finding that you're just not getting it figured out, if you cannot figure out what you're doing wrong, just message me and I'm happy to help. It took me a little while to get used to it, and it's not the average mascara. So, but if you want above average results, you kind of have to learn a few new tricks. So message me anytime and I'll get back to you with any tips and tricks I can help you with.